And this is the most amazing week. Thank you, Sheldon and Ginat, for creating this space. I'd like to begin by telling you about a class that I taught in facial yoga about 7 years ago in a very fancy spa in Jerusalem. And there were about 10 women in the group. And I asked them at the beginning how you feel about your appearance and what would you like to improve. And one woman said, which means I want my face to fall up. So this is basically what we're going to learn today, how to have lift and firm the muscles and tendons of our face, neck, and décolleté. And I also like to, before I actually begin, to say a word of thanks and appreciation to all of my teachers, meaning my yoga teachers since age 14, and my aromatherapy teachers and permaculture teachers. And I'd like to say a word about, first about myself. I teach facial yoga, and I also have learned and taught permaculture for the last 18 years. And I have a line of natural cosmetics, which means that basically what we apply on our face and body should be edible. And everything is based on aromatherapy and whole natural ingredients. So a word about permaculture. It's a system in which we connect to nature, and it's based on care for the earth, care for people, and fair share. And within the teaching and learning of permaculture, we put a lot of emphasis on preserving natural resources, using renewable sources of energy, zero pollution, water management, growing our own food, and so on. And what I teach to the usually teenagers and children in my groups is that we should, in every situation, we don't call them problems, we call them challenges, is to always look for the authentic and natural organic solution, and rather than the chemical, or in this case, surgical. So I'm basically applying the same principles of permaculture, of sustainability to what we're doing today. So when we practice, there are many kinds of yoga and there are many interpretations of what yoga is. But basically, I think most people know that it's the connection to our inner self, to this deep space from within, and through the asanas and the meditation, we're giving ourselves a great gift. I've had many teachers tell me that it's our connection to nature and to the natural world. But whatever, or to the higher being, what our connection is to nature and to whatever it comes from within us, and not what somebody else does for us. And it's something that's totally authentic and organic, and we're dependent on basically ourselves and not someone else to give it to us, as in when people go to get surgery or all kinds of chemical treatments. All right, just a minute to get myself organized. Is that okay now, the reception? So I would like to divide up our time together by first doing a few yoga exercises as a warm-up, and then I will tell you about the theory and practice of facial yoga, and then we'll do some exercises. Okay? How does that sound to you? Okay, so let's first, if you can stand up, and we're going to do some head circles at the beginning. So just lower your head down, then to the side and back, and come forward. And again, inhale as you go back, and exhale as you come forward. Inhale, exhale, now change direction. Long inhalation, and come forward and backwards. And You can also use what we call noisy breathing. Listen to yourself breathe. Place your hands on your shoulders and bring the elbows together. Raise up, inhale, lower down, exhale. At the same time, raise your head and lower your head. Raise, inhale, lower, exhale. Long inhalations and noisy breathing. Inhale, exhale. At the same time, we're exercising the neck. Change direction. Raise up, elbows together, lower down. Inhale, exhale. Doesn't this feel great? Okay, wonderful. Now, extend your arms out to the side, and the hands are perpendicular, and make small circles with the arms going forward. Remember the breath. See, looking good. Okay. This is a wonderful exercise to prevent what we call the salt shakers under the arms. If you can keep your arms up for 5 minutes doing these exercises, then you'll firm the upper arms. Change direction. Okay. And just a few more. Continue breathing. Okay, wonderful. And now I'd like you to look to the right and raise your head. Say yes. We're stretching the neck. Yes. Always say it. And yes. Very slowly raise the head to the other side. And raise. Say yes. Okay, good. Great. So now we're going to do a asana for tension release. But before we do it, I would like you to look what I'm doing with my mouth, making a circle like this. Can you see? You curl the upper lips over the upper teeth and the lower lips over the lower teeth. And we make this O. Okay, so show me O. Okay? We'll use that. Okay, so what we'll do is exhale and flare the fingers and toes. Exhale. And on the inhale, bring your hands to your chest in fist. And take a long breath. Hold. And exhale. Again, flare the fingers and toes on the exhale. Inhale, bring the fist to the chest and raise the shoulders and make this O. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll exhale to 8. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. The next time we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to start to tighten all the sphincters, beginning from the pelvic floor, the navel, raise the shoulders, make the O, and squint the nose. Okay, so it starts like this. Exhale, flare fingers and toes. Inhale. And start to close the sphincters, pelvic floor, navel, squeeze the shoulders, make the O, wrinkle the nose like a rabbit, and shut your eyes. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and very slowly relax. Exhale. Long breath. Okay, you just did a very important facial exercise, which I'll refer to later on. The last thing that we'll do is what I call the body brush. So let's raise up the air. I don't know if you can see me with hands parallel over the head, tilt back. Inhale. And now we'll press the air down. And when we get to the ribs, brush the side of the body, hang the head, and lower as low as you can. If it's too difficult, don't bend over. Then to raise up, bend the knees, raise up the hands, parallel, look up, inhale, tilt back, and pressing down the air, bring the hands to the side, to the ribs, brush yourself all the way down, hang in Uttanasana, hang the head, feel the weight of the head, and coming up, bend the knees. and press down the air. Okay, I can already see that you look more beautiful. Okay, now let's sit down. And one more thing that I would like you to do is a visualization like we learned yesterday, which is in inhalation. Bring your hands to the side of you. And as we inhale, bring your hands to the face. Don't touch the face. Inhale in a long breath. Hold. And imagine that you're bringing all of this oxygen, vitality, good health, beauty to your face. And on the exhale, lower the hands and exhale out all the carbon dioxide, the toxins, all the negativity is really going away. And let's do this again. Bring the hands to the face, and you're cupping all this air, oxygen, health, and vitality to every cell of your face. Inhale and hold, and imagine that you're bringing all the vitality and health and positivity to every cell of your face. Hold. You're in your visualization. And very gently exhale out all the things that we don't want. Okay, that was good. So I hope you feel relaxed as I do. And we're going to the next part, which is basically an explanation of facial yoga. So a lot of people go to the gym or have personal trainers, and they spend a lot of time building up muscle mass and tendons in order to prevent flab or to prevent the body from sagging. And people have forgotten, or whoever made up these systems have forgotten, there are 57 muscles in the face and neck. And they also need attention. They need to be built up and tightened. Otherwise, they fall. They sag, and gravity is at work. And as we get older, we lose muscle mass. So I'm 72 years old. I started doing facial exercise and combining it with yoga when I was 59. I wish I'd started earlier. And I've never had any surgery or any chemical procedures, and I don't wear makeup on my face. I wear lipstick. So this is it. What you see is what you get. It's not perfect. I do have wrinkles, but they are more shallow than when I was 59. So the basic explanation of facial yoga is to build muscle mass. And the way that we do that is by, for the 57 muscles, we have 28 exercises which we perform, and it only takes 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. The main important thing to remember is that we perform these exercises lying down because it's more relaxing, and also the weight of the head is about 8 or 9 kilos. So it's important to take this space of time to give to yourself, and to do it especially in the first year, in a kind of rigid schedule, so that you always have this special time that you're giving yourself, both relaxation and building facial muscles. So what is very important to know about this is the system that I teach is based on what's called muscle resistance training. And when you did this circle, remember, let's do it now. So let me see how you do it. You curl the top lip over the top teeth and the bottom lip over the bottom, and make an O. Okay, so what you're basically doing is you're tightening and flexing the muscles of the cheeks and lower face. Okay, and all of the exercise and all of the movement that we do on the face is done on a flexed muscle, which is very important because there are many systems, there are many ways to learn facial exercise, and I'm sure that most of them are really good. But most of them, or I don't think any of them, use this principle of muscle resistance, and as a result, they're stretching the skin, and that can cause more damage than before you started. For example, I never go to a cosmetician because even though I tell them don't stretch my skin, They do. And I have friends who are cosmeticians, and no offense, I love you, and they're wonderful people. I'm sure they do really good work. But for some reason, this principle of no stretching the skin, and I can tell you from the point of being 71 years old, is really very important. So the other thing that we want to remember is not to damage the fat cells, that are under the epidermis, or the outer layer. As we age, we have less fat cells, and we really want to keep them. So in order to have a nice round shape to our face and a sculptured appearance, this is really important. So the method that I teach and that I recommend is totally safe, not to do any damage, to build the muscle mass, tone up the tendons, and also around the muscles there's something called elastin. And these are the fibers that are damaged by ultraviolet rays. So first of all, stay out of the sun. But as we tone and build the muscles, those elastic fibers take the shape around the muscles, and they're also improved. So we want it to be safe, gentle, and effective. I had a recent, about 5 or 6 years ago, a woman called me and asked to meet with me about the facial yoga. And we met. She's blind. And we spoke, and she's a lovely woman. And she asked if she could touch my face. I said, sure. And the first thing that she said is that your muscles, especially your neck muscles, are very tight and strong. So this is what I realized, that all of the exercise that I've been doing is really effective in tightening and building and lifting the muscles. Who is this really good for? So it's appropriate for women and men. I've had 2 men learning with me. I would say from age 30 or 35 upwards. And obviously it's better if you start when you're younger. And people that do start when they're young will not only have firm facial muscles, but they won't have wrinkles. If you're older and you feel that everything's like sagging, or you have a lot of wrinkles, I would say it's better to do something than not to do anything, because you can still firm up the facial muscles, the neck and the décolleté, and you'll prevent the fall, what we call the defeated look. Also, you bring a lot of there's a good blood circulation, relaxation, and you bring a lot of oxygen to the face in the movements that you'll see that we'll do in a few minutes. So what are we up against in the postmodern world that we live in? There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of demands on our time and our energies. Now we're facing probably a recession. There's economic issues, a lot of air pollution. There's so much carbon dioxide and methane and dirt in the air. Whenever I go on the train or a bus, I come home and I really have to work to clean off the dirt. So we really have to be aware of all of the, especially I would say stress is what shows on the face, and this 15 minutes, not every day, that we give to ourselves of lying down and being in complete relaxation, exercising, and the face improving the circulation has a great benefit. Plus the fact, if we combine this with yoga, breathing, exercise, it's really a win-win situation. So we're taking a bubble of time and giving ourselves a gift. Now, what happens if you're doing the routine for months or years, and then for some reason you stop, you went away, you're too busy, and then not to give up. Muscles have a memory, the same as working out in the gym. If you stop and you've gotten to a certain level of, say, muscle, good fiber and muscle mass, when you go back to your routine, the muscles do have a memory, and you'll very quickly get back to where you were before. So I would like, as we do in permaculture, we discuss of every decision and every project, we discuss the benefits and the drawbacks, and everything has both. So the benefits are that we build the muscle mass for a more youthful appearance. We have good blood circulation. a lot of oxygen, relaxation, and we really give ourselves a pampering. And also every few months, you'll feel what we call a youth jump, that you've improved in some way. The drawbacks are that you need to practice. You need to give this 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Younger women and men don't need to work out 5 times. They can work out 3 or 4. And I'm sorry to say this sounds obvious, but if you don't practice, you won't see results. I forgot to mention that I do have 2 women who started in their 30s. They're both performers, and they're very smart to start in their 30s. Now they're about 40, and they look great. And I suggest to everyone who can to start earlier rather than later. You know, when we're younger, we look gorgeous and we think, well, this is not something that's right for my age. But the truth be told, it's better to start when you're young, but not to give up. At all ages, it's very good. Now, everyone at some point asks me the cost. So it's not very expensive, and I think it's good value for money. Obviously, surgery is an option, and it costs tens of thousands of dollars or shekels, plus you have to go back for touch-ups and corrections and so on. And if you learn facial exercise, facial yoga, it's yours forever. The cost can be between 280 shekels to 2,000 or 3,000 shekels, depending on how private or how, if you want to work alone, you just get the discs and you can work by yourself and learn it. If you need to work with a teacher in a group or privately, obviously the cost is more. But everything that I buy or I think of buying, I ask, what's the value? Everyone wants value for money. And I've had a lot of people tell me I didn't pay enough. And it makes me glad to know that. So without further ado, I would like you to go and take a minute, go wash hands, and come back with your facial moisturizer. And then we'll do some exercises. Okay, so just go wash hands. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, are we all back? Great. Okay. So the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to put on my jojoba cleansing oil. I don't wash my face with soap because soap has a lot of caustic soda or even detergents. So I apply it's jojoba mixed with neroli, rose, and lavender, which is a wonderful day to start my day. And I apply this facial cleanser in little circles all around the face, neck, and don't forget next to the ears. Okay. And then I usually brush my teeth, let it sit for a little while, and use a piece of wet cotton wool. And when you rub off the oil, you'll see if there's dirt or makeup, you'll see it. So we'll start by, and the other thing I do, especially in the summertime, is spray this hydrosol, which is marvelous. It gives you a lift at all times of the day. So now in preparation, let's put on our moisturizer, and I'll show you how to do this. The moisturizer that I'm using is what's called the sensual moisturizer. It has sandalwood, geranium, lavender, jasmine, and it's on the base of jojoba, coconut oil, cocoa butter,
So we're putting little dots all over the face and neck. And then using our 2 fingers, pointer and middle finger, we make little circles and keep the flex. Make this O. Remember, don't stretch the skin. All over. Little round circles. Okay. And now come down to the neck. We want to go up and down on the neck. Good. So let's make our O, and we're going to do what's called the nose shaper. So I put my finger at the tip of the nose, and I'm going to curl the top lip over the top teeth, make the O, and pull. So keep the nose up and pull the top lip. It's good for the nose, and it's also good for these lines around the top of the lips. Pull, 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 pull. I don't see you pulling. Pull, pull. We do this 40 times. Okay. And now I'd like you to, we're going to work on the forehead. So place your 3 middle fingers on the over the eyebrows and push up to the count of 4, and now down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 5, 6, 7, 8 down. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then swish. Swish, swish the forehead. Okay, I forgot to mention something that I do in the morning is a 1-minute massage. So I make little hooks with the pointer finger, make the O, and make little circles at the edges of the lips like this. 10 times. Good. Now I can see you. Okay. And the nose is crunched like a rabbit. At the edges of the nose, make this circle 10 times. And at these 11s, we call them, in between the eyebrows. So we hold on one side, and with the other knuckle, make a circle there. Great. See, you're doing this very well. Okay. And at the side of the eyes, keep your flex with the skin, with the mouth. Okay. At the beginning, it takes a long time to learn, even 28 exercises. It seems daunting. But after you practice using the disc, which you download, and the you've got flashcards and all kinds of visual helpers, Lama? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. So now we're going to do the cheek firmer. Place the fingers on top of the cheekbone, and we're going to make a flex as we did before. Flex by making the circle with your mouth. Flex, 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 flex. Do this 40 times. Okay? And at the end, when you finish the flexing, you raise up your head and hold. For also to the count of 40. Okay? Great. So now we're going to work on the jaws. Now, most people at my age have fallen jowls. And all this jawline is one of the first issues that people have to deal with. About half a year ago, I went to a presentation given by an Israeli woman who offers a trip to Greece and a surgical operation in which they put a string, insert string inside along the jawline, and it raises up the jowls. So after the presentation, I went to speak to her. She asked me how old I am. And she said, well, I see you've done this procedure. And I said, no, I've never done any surgery at all, which indicated to me that what I'm going to show you now, oh, and by the way, it cost 5,000 euros. So now I'm going to save you a lot of money. Okay, so it's a rather difficult, it looks easy, but it's not, and you probably won't get it at the beginning. But the idea is to tilt back the head and frown. So you got your frown, and while you're frowning, you try only with the side of the lips to smile. Okay, so it looks like this. So it's a very small movement, but what you're doing is you're working these muscles of the jaw. So extremely effective. And for each part of the face, there are 4 or 5 exercises which are appropriate and enhance that particular part of the face. Okay, so now I would like us to work on the neck, which is a big issue for many people. So can you see that I'm placing one hand at the base of the neck, and with the other hand, with your right hand, make a fist. And we're going to draw a line with the knuckles from ear to ear. And at the same time, we're going to swish the knuckles along the line. So there are 3 lines. One is right under the chin. The other is over the larynx. And the third one is at the base of the neck. Okay? So make the fist and look to the left. Place your fist under your right earlobe and start brushing. Brush, 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 all the way to the other side. And as you do, you turn your head to the opposite side of your fist. And then again, come back to the other side, and we'll do this again. Okay, now let's lower the hand to the middle, and we brush over the larynx, and then come back, and then to the other side. Okay, are you with me? And now the baseline. So we start at the right with the right hand, brushing the base of the neck, and then coming back. Now change to the other hand. So place your hand on the base of the neck. Your left hand is under the left earlobe, and start brushing under the chin. And then come back. And then do this along the larynx, brushing, brushing, and the base, brushing, and so on. Make a few nice strokes here. Okay, so we've done a number of exercises. You can see that they're not difficult. In some cases, I've only shown you one part of the exercise and not the whole, because it's a little bit complicated for first time. So what we'll do now, I will explain to you about how you learn this. The learning process is first to get the disc, download them, and the learning process can take a few weeks or a few months, in which you see each exercise performed and you imitate it, and you can stop at any place along the process in order to correct yourself. And you can learn by, as I said, by yourself, and then after, or with a teacher. Or I would say most people do is start learning by themselves, and then they go to a teacher. And it's very important to make sure that you're doing every exercise and movement correctly, that you're not causing any damage, and that you get the best effect and results. Afterwards, once you've learned all of the exercises, there are only 28, then you only listen and perform. As I remember, I said that we perform the exercises lying down. And at the end, after probably about 8 months or a year, you've learned everything by heart, and you don't need any assistance. You just perform the exercises lying down. I would recommend first thing in the morning, or if you take a siesta in the afternoon, or in the evening before you go to bed. But it's important to keep a set time in order not to get off of your schedule. So in summary, I'd like to say that we can use these wonderful gifts of yoga, breathing, inhalation, exhalation, to have a vibrant and youthful appearance at all ages. And we don't need any help from anybody. Once we've learned it, that's it, it's yours. The yoga and the exercises of facial muscles together give you an added bonus, what I call a win-win. And I like to think of yoga forever. And as I said, it's a holistic approach because it encompasses all of the body, the breathing. We talk about diet, about sleep, about whatever issues that people deal with that can affect the way their appearance is. And it's very empowering. You're not dependent on anyone. You're not dependent on big companies or surgeons or any manipulation from outside. It's something that comes from you, and it's totally effective. So in conclusion, if we could just stand up again for a minute. Okay, so what we want to do is again raise up the energy and collect all this good prana at the top and lower down as we did before. And this time, let the head hang as much as is comfortable for you. Bend the knees a little bit. And again, raise up. Long inhalation. And press down. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale. Let out all of the tension. Bend the knees, hang the head, Uttanasana. And raise up. And this time, bring your hands to the side. I'd like you to make a little flutter.
Ellen, we don't see your mouth, if that's an aspect.
And I would just like us to bring all of this great. Okay, are we back on track? Okay, so let's bring all of this good air and energy to our face. Hold. And lower down to our heart. And feel all this vitality and youthful, feeling authentic energies that come from with us. And I feel it's a blessing to be here with you. Namaste.